Tony Hawk is selling skateboards painted with his blood. And a man was seriously injured after severing his penis before leading officers on a highway chase. And camping in churches is very popular right now in the UK. These are the weird stories for Tuesday on Weird AF News, your only daily weird news podcast recorded inside a hot closet, baby. That's right. Oh, yeah, let's do it. Tony Hawk, the famous skateboarder, is selling skateboards that are painted with his actual blood, bruh. You guys want a skateboard with Tony's blood on it? Good time to sell a product with your bodily fluids on it. COVID, bro. Yeah. Liquid Death is a water company. I guess they sell bottled water. I've never heard of Liquid Death. It's a strange name for a water company. But they are teaming up with Tony to create a limited edition run of 100 skateboards infused with skating legend Tony Hawk's blood. Each skateboard boasts a vial worth of Hawk's DNA mixed in with the paint for the decks. Yeah, so his actual blood is painted. It says, I don't know why you would want this. I don't know if you think that you're going to skate better because Tony's blood is on your skateboard. I think you're a little misguided. I got a quote here from Tony. I am deeply thankful, bro, to have a connection, bro, with my fans, bro. I appreciate how Liquid Death connects with their fans, too. Yo, this collab has taken those connections to a new level as I have literally put my blood into these decks, bruh. Wow. Now I'm looking at a picture of the skateboard. It's actually pretty cool looking. It's red, as you can imagine, because it's Tony's blood, bro. And there's a very cool image of a ripped guy with no shirt. His head is missing. He's apparently chopped off his own head with an axe, which is pretty baller if you chop off your own head with an axe. He's holding the head of a bird. I don't know if he previously had a bird head. The best part about it is instead of nipples, he has eyeballs. That's my favorite part about it. To have the eyeball nipples. I think that's pretty cool. I don't want the board because it has Tony's blood on it. I like the image of the guy that has eye nipples. I think that's pretty cool. Now, what's it going to cost you for one of these boards, you're wondering? First of all, there's only 100 available. 100 skateboards with Tony Hawk, the legend's blood infused. And it's not cheap. It's $500. It's $500. But a portion of the profits will benefit anti-plastic nonprofit company 5 Gyres. Which keeps in line with Liquid Death's goal of reducing plastic waste in the world, which is very, very cool. The article says that Liquid Death may have been inspired to do the blood-infused skateboards by rapper Lil Nas X and Nike, who collaborated last year on a pair of Air Max 97 sneakers, which were filled with genuine human blood. I remember that story. I never covered it, but I remember the bloody sneakers. I thought it was odd. It says here, vampires, skaters, and philanthropists alike can buy one of the 100 Tony Hawk blood-infused skateboards on Liquid Death's website, where they can also order cases of the brand's grungy labeled water. Please do not drink the blood, only drink the water. Wave your hands in the air if you're feeling sexy. A man is seriously injured after severing his penis before leading police on a highway pursuit. Law enforcement officers encountered a very bizarre incident as a Tennessee man led them on a 2-county pursuit on Highway 70. What they learned was that the man, 39-year-old Tyson Gilbert, had cut off his own penis and tossed it out the car window somewhere along the route, either before or during the car chase. Why would a man cut off his penis and chuck it out the window? Can you guess? Well, Gilbert said he heard voices on his car radio telling him to commit the act in order to save the world. The most bizarre part about this story is that this guy listens to the radio. This is commitment, by the way, to cut your penis off to save the world. I mean, even if someone told me that that's what I had to do, I'd still think twice about it. I'm like, I don't know if the world's worth it, to be honest with you. And I'm going to get into the article. I'm curious if they found the penis because it was tossed somewhere along Highway 70. That could be anywhere. State Trooper Bobby Johnson of the Tennessee Highway Patrol was the lucky guy to first come across Mr. Gilbert after spotting his Honda parked in the roadway on Highway 70. Here's a quote from Bobby Johnson from Tennessee. When I pulled up behind him and turned my lights on, he took off, and he refused to stop. He was all over the road, too, the entire time, swerving and stuff. He turned off on Old Liberty, came to a stop, opened his door. Man, I couldn't believe it. He was naked, covered in blood. He then shut the door and then kept driving on. The Alexandria Police Department got involved. They spiked him along Highway 70 as he was going through. But he kept going westbound. He went into Wilson County. They spiked him in Watertown as well. We continue. You guys are wondering what spiked him means. That means they laid down spike strips to pop his tires. But he wouldn't stop. He just kept going all the way to I-40. Finally, we took him into custody, transported him to the hospital because he crazy, obviously. The article says here that Gilbert has active warrants against him in surrounding counties. That's a big surprise. I'm wondering if he's tried to cut off other pieces of his body. He cut off his fingers in Cookville. In addition to Trooper Johnson, other law enforcement agencies were involved in the pursuit, of course. I don't know how this guy survived. And when you cut your wee-wee off, I mean, the blood, it's just a lot of blood loss, like real quick, I'd imagine. No way to tourniquet. I mean, you're just bleeding out like a stuck pig at that point. It's a miracle he's alive. I'm wondering if they did a search party for the penis. That's what I'd like to know. Did they deploy some drones to go on a penis search? Did they put out the dogs? It's like, I want to know if some poor sheriff, 40 years in the business, he's just walking around the side of the road. 40 years, and here I am looking for a dick in a field. Poor guy. Lastly, I'd like to know what chemicals he's on, and if I could have his dealer's number, please. Kidding, guys, kidding. I don't want to take a chemical so strong that I would cut off my own member. This sounds like some Florida drugs, to be honest. But maybe I would take like an eighth of the dose and see what happened. I mean, I could probably have a good time with an eighth of the dose. I don't want to take it to the cut off my own sex part level, but maybe, maybe take it and take an eighth and go to the rave, guys. I don't know. Silly. You like podcasts? You're listening to my podcast. Maybe you thought to yourself, I'd like to make a podcast. Too difficult. No, not with Anchor. Anchor has free creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast from your phone or your computer. Anchor distributes your podcast to Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, and more. They have advertising integration, so you can even make a little money off your podcast. Everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. And good luck with your podcast. Good luck with your creation. Good luck with your life, man. Camping in churches is popular in the UK. I had no idea. Penny Thomas has always favored adventure holidays. But this year, with the UK destinations in such demand during the pandemic, she's actually found a unique way to avoid the crowds rather than staying in a busy campsite. Her partner Pete and her checked into a 13th century church. Here's a quote from her. It was the appeal of doing something a little bit different. I hate being disturbed by other people's noise like you get at the beach. You don't get that when you're sleeping among the dead inside a 13th century church. The couple is from Warwickshire. They're among a record number of British holiday makers who have gone what's called champing, Champing. It's camping inside churches this year. Camping in churches, guys, champing. Anyone done it? There's a photo of her. She's got like a little cot it's like in a pew in between two benches here, and she's reading a book with a blanket. It's exactly how you'd imagine sleeping in a church would be. What do you pay for this? I'm very curious. I don't know if I'd be into this, but it's weird. It's weird. So I love that it exists. Now, apparently it all goes down Airbnb style, and it's for churches to raise money to help fund their upkeep, and it's very popular with international visitors. It began about 6 years ago, bringing new people into these empty buildings. It says here, though, with coronavirus travel restrictions in place and huge demand for UK-based staycations, Champing is on track to record its highest number of visitors to date. There's a nice photo of a big church, too. These things are very old over there. I'm concerned with the lack of air conditioning and or heating, but, I mean, maybe it's very cheap. Let's find out. There are 14 CCT churches taking part across England, including in Essex, Norfolk, Lancashire, and Somerset. Visitors pay between £49 and £59 per adult per night to sleep in camp beds surrounded by monuments, gravestones, stained glass windows, an altar, and all the usual fixtures of a consecrated church of England. They also come with their own wildlife. Some of the churches have bats. Ooh, that sounds fun, guys. Pay to stay with the bats. I'm sure there's rats as well. And vampires and other, right? Because we know that vampires are still kicking around in 13th century churches, right? Can you stay in the graveyard? What about that? What about in the mausoleum? Ooh, could I just spend a little night in the confession booth? That sounds exciting. Making love in a confession booth. Can you have sex in these churches? That's what I'm wondering. Now, a lot of Thomas's friends have asked her what the experience was like, if it was spooky. She says, no, not at all, really. First time we watched a horror movie. We tried to spook ourselves, but, it was just really peaceful, I'd say, in general. Well, I gotta say, I would probably give this a try. It's pretty cheap, and it's weird, and I like that. I might even go on a church tour. I assume there's a lack of Wi-Fi, though. That would be an issue. But, some of these things are like 1,000 years old. Imagine staying in a 1,000-year-old church. That just seems like a great time. And to me, it does seem like it would give you some spooky vibes, I would imagine. Those things they must have little critters running around, first of all, and just the creaking of it, the way the wind whips through the broken stained glass windows, that's got to scare the crap out of you, I'd imagine, on some level. What about you guys? You'd be into staying in a church like this? An old... Champing? Guys? You guys down for champing? I'd love to hear from you. Maybe you've champed already. If you're in the UK, you should totally look into this. You should rent it out for a rave. Why not? Have your birthday party there, something like that. Have a gender reveal party inside and blow it up. Call the show, guys. 646-450-2012. Weird AF News. I swear I'm gonna find you now. Just parodying the Eagles, guys, as I tend to do. You know the deal. How is everybody? You okay? Thanks for hanging in till the end. Appreciate it. And if you enjoy Weird AF News, please make sure you subscribe to it. Maybe even give it a little rating on one of these places you can rate the podcast, like Amazon or iTunes, something like that. Tell a friend if you ever get a moment. And if you'd like to support the show by joining the Patreon, that's kind of fun because you get some extra Weird AF content. So yeah, you can do that by going to patreon.com/weirdafnews. Or you can go to weirdafnews.com, the official website. That's right. We got an official website lending this show some sort of credibility. I don't know how much, but just a little bit. And I have my patrons to thank for the website because I use the funds for such things to build that bad boy and to pay for upkeep costs and all that crap. I also got Google ads for the show, so I put the money back into it. And so yeah, if you're a big fan and you'd like to support, check out the Patreon, or there's something else on the website weirdafnews.com. You can buy me a cup of coffee. Yeah, click on the Buy Jonesy a Coffee banner, and you can support the show that way as well. All right, guys. Lastly, I just want to say I appreciate you being here as always. There's a gazillion podcasts out there, but you've chosen to spend some time with me, and I appreciate that very much. And we'll see you tomorrow. If you got an article you'd like me to cover or take a look at, you can email it to me. Send me the link at funnyjones@gmail.com or on Instagram @funnyjones. Thanks again.